Okay, folks, we are very fortunate today to have Nisreen Hawley from the wonderful market of, what it is, the actual positive energy vortex of the universe. Isn't that true? That's what I heard.
That's true. Yeah.
I love that place. Okay, Sedona, and you've been number one there. You've been a number one agent for a while now, haven't you?
I've been the number one agent for at least a year now in that office. I joined about in 2017. Yeah.
Right. Right. So you've been there. I think I know you were number one last year, and I believe you're tracking as number one this year too, per Patrick. So he's the one that recommended you too. I asked him, and he goes, "You got to interview Nisreen." I'm like, "Let's do it." So Nisreen,
right.
Let's take a moment, explain, tell everybody who you are, how long you've been doing this. Give a little introduction so they know who you are, please.
Sure. Absolutely. So when I moved to Sedona in 1999 and got my real estate license pretty much right away. But I feel like I did what a lot of people do, and I didn't go all in, right away. I had a desk job, which I stayed with. But about 13 years ago, Patrick and I had our own brokerage, and we specialized in doing REOs and short sales and distressed properties, which was emotional and challenging and extremely rewarding in some ways. I mean, right now, the things that we're dealing with, I feel like anything could come my way and I could handle it. If you've ever done a short sale that's taken 16 months to close because it had a first mortgage, a second mortgage that was sold out 3 times while you were in the middle of negotiating it, you can pretty much handle anything that comes your way. And then about 3 years ago, Patrick did reach out to me and say, "You have to join our new office, for Berkshire Hathaway." And it didn't take me long researching Berkshire Hathaway. And I said, yes, I'll be right there.
Nice.
So then I joined that office.
Especially in your market where, it's considered an up market. It's considered like there's a lot of second homes there, third homes there, but there's also a lot of people that live there full time, aren't there?
Yes. Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
So go
ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, the Verde Valley in general. I mean, we're Sedona and Verde Valley. So not to leave out Cottonwood, Cornville, Clarkdale, but yeah, we have a lot of full-time residents.
That, and that's such a great point that you've been doing this since the late 90s, because I remember, I always joke and say, short sales, you mean long sales. There's nothing short about them. Right? They last forever. Pack a lunch. And you know what? It's funny you say that too, Nisreen, because I've been doing this for 35 years. And people ask me, well, how are you handling the pandemic? I go, the pandemic, I mean, yeah, it's new and it's different and it's scary, obviously. You got to be safe. But compared to, the crisis, and I've been through 2 of them, and they both were exceedingly crazy for different reasons. But the latest one was probably the worst one. And you're right. I mean, when you're dealing with people that, are losing everything and, they're doing a short sale, and you're trying to explain to them it's better to do a short sale than ever foreclosure and cooperate. A lot of them, some stay in, some they don't. But I agree with you. Compared to that, this is not really that bad. And it really, I think, set us up, a lot of us that have been in the business that long for, not much can bother you when you've been through that financial crisis of 2008, 9, 10, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So you guys started out doing business that way, and how do you do your business today to do the numbers that you do? Especially in a market that's a little unique. Not a little unique. It's a lot unique.
It's very unique, and I think I have a unique combination of things that I use to help me, achieve the numbers that I have. But in between, 2007 and 2017, I also was doing some other things on the side, and I took some online courses with Blueprint and became a social media manager. So I was able to really market myself online and set up some very specific targeted ads, do that type of thing. And also I'm a baker, so I'm known for having some really great treats at my open houses and, you know, celebratory cupcakes at closing. So those words, you know, get out in a small town. And I'll be out somewhere and somebody will say, I saw those cupcakes online, or I saw that house online, and they'll recognize me at the grocery store, or, you know, out and about at dinner. So I think just putting myself out there a lot.
Yeah.
And just, you know, I kind of feel like a real estate concierge, where I go above just the sale, and I really, really make an effort to stay connected, you know, with my sphere on a regular basis. Like, they call me all the time, and because I encourage them to, if they need anything, once they've relocated here, they call me for, where do I take my wife for anniversary? What's the best, you know, fine dining? What, you know, who do you recommend as a dentist? Things like that. So, I have all this information for them for after the sale, and we just stay connected.
Yeah, because, you know, it's funny you say that, because I went there for a long weekend, and Patrick told, you know, I asked him the same thing. Where do I go? What do I do? And he gave me a complete list, which was very, very helpful. And it's a very unique area. Like, there's a lot of little things going on all the time too. So if you're helping people keep in touch with everything, I'm sure that's completely helpful.
Yeah, it's a great way. And one of the things about being in a small town too is I get to see my clients all the time. So, you know, because there's not that many choices of places to go. So we run into each other at the store, you know, out and about.
Yeah, people don't realize that, but, you know, the Sedona market has about 550 closings every year, right? It's not like a gigantic market.
Yeah, it's we have a lot of agents.
Yeah.
we have a lot of agents in a small market. So we really need to put ourselves out there to stand out, and we have to go above and beyond. And I mean, you should anyway, but we really need to.
Well, you know, it's that old fiduciary. I love the fiduciary responsibility, because it's really just, you know, it's like the golden rule on steroids. And if you don't follow that, you don't last very long in this business, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. So you said some really exciting things there I want to hear about. Okay. Number one is, I want to get to the baking, but I want to hear about your social media campaign. So
yes.
I see your stuff. It looks great, but tell them a little about, first off, what kind of classes did you take? What did you learn? Maybe give them some tidbits on, you know, making their social media a little better.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see what I can cram in here, because I do a class, and it's, you know, it's several parts. But for social media, there's something that's free. I really recommend it to all agents. If you go on facebook.com/blueprint, they have all kinds of courses. And in the beginning, you know, you might look at it and say, well, this is silly, I don't need it. I mean, from as simple as how to actually set up a Facebook page, right, which everybody should know that. But as you get further into it, they will teach you about how to do carousel ads, how to do specific targeting, how to do the special ad categories for housing, so that, you know, you comply with all regulations for housing advertising. There are a number of courses in there. Each course probably takes, you know, 20 to 30 minutes to complete. You don't have to do all of them, but if you're unsure, that's a great starting point. It's completely free, and it really helps, because it's always changing and evolving. So keep going back. I mean, if you ever have free time, which is kind of a running joke, right, for real estate agents. But if you ever have free time, and my free time comes after the kids go to bed, after I've checked all my files in SkySlope and made my list of things to do the next day. But if I've got an extra 15 or 20 minutes, that's really all you need. Go in there and take a class real quick. Try to set up an ad. I had a story that Mark shared that I got a lot of feedback on and calls from other agents, but it really works. I had a townhouse listing in Sedona. I put it online. I targeted it specifically to Southern California zip codes. In 9 days from California, I had a full price offer on it. I did a video walkthrough with her because they were on a stay-at-home order before we were. We did the home inspection recap through Zoom. Then she asked for a few repairs. I mean, there was like a leaky faucet and like a drywall patch in the garage, very minor things. So I had somebody come in and take care of those things. I went back and videotaped that they were done. And we closed, through the mail, FedEx documents, FedEx keys. The movers arrived before her. I let them in, locked up, put her other key in a combination box for her on the door. She did the whole thing. She didn't actually see her home until she already owned it. But
nice.
In this market, that's how you do it. And she wouldn't have known about it had I not targeted her zip code, for ads.
Nice.
There are 2 billion people on Facebook, 2 billion, so if I want to do 50 units, I only need 50 of those people.
Right. That's a great way to look at it. It's such a great way to look at it. And there's only 340 million in the country. So a lot of those 2 billion are from other countries, and some of them are moving here and doing things. So, yeah,
absolutely.
That's a great idea. Okay, so go on Facebook.com and you said /blueprint.
Blueprint, yeah.
Okay, and there's all kinds of training on there. Great.
All kinds of training. With Facebook being linked to Instagram now, when you run your Facebook ad, there's a little button you can switch over, and it runs it on Instagram too. So you don't have to learn something new. All you have to do is link your Instagram to your Facebook, and the ad that you did with the targeting and all the effort you put into it also shows to your Instagram feed.
I love it. Okay, cool. Good. And so you use Instagram as well, obviously. Is there any other ones that you want to mention for social media?
Instagram, I have the most number of followers on. I'm almost to 5,000 followers on Instagram. And
nice.
Facebook, I do stuff on LinkedIn, but those three are the top ones for me.
Yeah.
I did venture into TikTok. I did get somebody off of TikTok, but it's sort of a silly, fun app. But there are some things that you can do. I wouldn't spend too much time in there. Facebook and Instagram are still number one and number two. And one of the other things I want to mention is on Instagram especially, most of my followers are other realtors. And aside from the business I get from my sphere, which is the bulk of what I do, I get a lot of referrals from out-of-area agents where people are selling their home somewhere and they want to retire here.
Right.
So and they see me online and they just call, directly or call the office. And so I do get a lot of referrals that way by connecting with other agents online. So I would say to people, don't forget that. I mean, as far as we're trying to reach new clients, but also reach out to your other agents because they are a huge source of referrals.
Other agents outside of the market. You don't have a lot of agents in your own market on your stuff, though, do you?
I do not. I have some, but really, there's still a lot of people who don't believe in social media,
right?
Especially here, in the older community, and they just don't want to be online, or they think, somebody's gonna hack them. You know what I mean? So it's
right.
And I get that. I get the privacy concerns and all that, but for business purposes, I would say to every agent, get your social media going. Yeah.
Yeah, that you're so right. I was a big holdout till I started this job. And after about a year of working here, I started a Facebook page. My first Facebook page was 5 years ago. Everything I do on social media, I've only done for the last 4 or 5 years, and most of it in the last 2 and 3. Because I finally converted over and then see how well it works. And I've noticed that, like LinkedIn especially, in the last couple of years, have you noticed? I mean, they've become a lot better.
Yeah, it is better. It's much better than it used to be. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Facebook you can have as many followers as you want, but your personal page allows you 5,000. Instagram's unlimited, and LinkedIn allows you 30,000 connections, which is pretty crazy.
Right.
Okay, so good. Any other tidbits about social media that you think they should know?
I think, well, one of the things with social media that I stress to people is make it fun, and stay away from super hot button topics on your social media.
Right.
Just, especially on your business page, but don't make it, I'm selling this house, I'm selling this house, I'm selling this house. Throw in something funny, like yesterday I put up, here's a recipe for iced coffee. 1, get your real estate license. 2, make coffee. 3, answer 75 phone calls and run comps. 4, drink your cold coffee, right? So,
that's funny.
Just stuff like that, because those are the really high engagement posts because everybody likes them. And when you have these high engagement posts peppered throughout, then when your listing comes up, Facebook knows, hey, wait, 55 people or 100 people liked her last post. I bet you those people are going to want to see this post too. So those funny, lighthearted, not controversial posts bring people to your page and keep them there.
Cool. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, and I think doing a little Facebook Live, like you're at a showing, you have a comment to make about real estate or personal stuff too. I think you get a lot of traction with Facebook Live too. I think videos especially, but the live thing, I don't know what it is, but it seems to get a lot of people to watch.
Well, Live sends out a notification to your followers that you've gone live. So if they're actually following you and they don't just like your page, but they follow and get notifications when you go live, that's very helpful. Video is big. The rule of thumb for social media managers is you have 8 seconds to capture somebody's attention to see if they're going to watch the rest of your video the whole way through. So start with something cool that will keep them waiting till the end. Like, I'm going to tell you something really cool. I'm going to share that with you in a minute, but first let's talk about this and, to keep them on the line. So you get 8 seconds for the hook.
Yeah. Well, which always makes me laugh because whenever I just saw one this morning. Okay. We're going Facebook Live here. We're going to wait 2 minutes for people to show up. I'm like, you're going to wait 2 minutes. You're going to lose everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that people think. Well, I got to wait for people to show up. No. Start going and they show up, right?
Yep.
All right. So let's hear the secret then. I want to hear this. You have my attention.
The secret.
Well, I thought you just mentioned something you were going to mention about social media.
Oh, yeah, that's what you say in the beginning of your video. You say, I have a secret. I'm going to tell you at the end. So that's the hook. That's what keeps people. So you have to figure out what your secret is of the day. If I'm going to tell sellers all the things they need to know and I'm going to save the best one for the end, that's how they wait and watch to the end of the video.
I gotcha. Okay, good. Yeah, see? How do you keep a real in suspense, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you tomorrow. No, okay.
Right.
Perfect. All right, cool. Now, okay, so I want to go back to something else you said earlier. You mentioned, that you're a concierge service, and I've heard, I've heard a few other agents in Arizona. Well, actually, one other agent say that, and I'm like, that sounds like such a good way to say it. So, what do you mean exactly about that? And tell us some of the tidbits of things that you do for people, for your seer and your best clients.
Okay, so for my sphere and my best clients, number one, I treat all my clients like they're my best clients, whether they're buying a condo or a several $1 million property. They're all my best clients, and I do the same thing for all of them. I just go all in for everybody. So I give them the printouts of what we're going to see. So, when you're walking through a home, people usually asking you all kinds of questions. I have all those things ready for, the taxes, the HOA fees, what does it cover? Before we go look at a home, I've got a booklet of stuff for them. So it's got all the answers to all the questions that they most likely ask. I keep my notebook with me when we're out. I keep my notebook with me always. It's with me now. It's always next to me. I take notes, and I spend a lot of time listening I'm not, going to be walking through the house pointing out, the quality of the cabinets and things like that. I'm listening to what they say and their feedback on the property, and I'm writing it down, and it helps me really match them up with the homes that they're going to fall in love with. So after that, I try to handle as much for them, and I let them, I'm representing them. So some people are very, very, they want to do everything on their own. They have their own lender, their own inspector, their own people. I ask them, do you have somebody? If they don't have somebody, do you want me to recommend somebody? I take care of meeting the home inspector, doing the recap with them, keeping them up to date every step of the way. I tell them every step of the way, there's a way forward, there's a way out, and I'm going to remind them of all their timelines. Once we get through repairs and final closing, we do a celebration, right, with cupcakes. And then I tell them, I'm not gone. I'm your forever agent. So if you ever need anything, you ever have a question, you want to know what the market's doing, you want to know, where's the best place for this, the best place for that. Like I said, they want to change the paint color. I have a list of recommended vendors, painters, you want to change flooring, you want to do landscaping, something like that. They always are free to call me. I make sure they know that, and they do take me up on it. So
nice.
That way, if I'm not calling them, they're calling me, and
right.
And we can always communicate. And I always encourage them to send me photos of what they've done to make the house their own. And I've been invited over many times to see, how their place looks now, and I think it's great. And then they want to know, did this add value? Did this add value to my house? So
yep, that's such a great. I love it. And when you say forever agent, it fits right into the Berkshire Hathaway brand advertising, which is Forever Brand. So I love it when you mix those two things together like that. All right. Before, to put you on the spot here, all right, you probably already mentioned some of them, but as a top agent and doing it as long, and I can hear the customer service. I can hear that you care about your clients. I can hear that you really want to help them in any way you can. So if you could narrow it down, and I know it's tough, to the top three, like I'm a brand new agent or I'm an agent trying to take it to the next level, what are the three most important things you tell them to focus on?
So I hear you ask this question to people all the time, and it's
my
so
favorite
hard
question.
it's so hard to pick three. It's because there's so much I want to say to new agents. But if I have to pick three, my first thing is don't be afraid. Don't let fear hold you back. Just go all in and give your full effort always. Like, be consistent in what you do. That's number one. Number two, I would say be honest with yourself and your clients. Sometimes people want to make a sale and they might intentionally overlook something, but you've got to be honest, and do all the research on every home every time, because if you have to walk away from a house now, it's better in the long run.
Right.
You'll gain more than you lose. You don't want a problem for your people. So do that homework up front. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your clients. And then the third thing is,
a great point.
When you find your niche, when it starts to click for you and you become a top agent and you become successful, because if you do those first two things, I 100% believe that you will. And the people I've recruited to the office are proving that. I'm so proud of them. Help others. Reach out and help the new agents, because that helps me more than anything is teaching or mentoring, because it reminds me and it keeps me fresh and it keeps me on my toes, and all of their issues, then I can see them and help them resolve it so that they don't fall into any problems.
Into the abyss, because let's face it, the numbers on new agents, even per NAR, they're not good. So I really appreciate that. And it's fun. It's so wonderful that you say that. Also, I've noticed in my time here with this company that that's a decent theme around here, which is really encouraging. And I know that your market's a little different because, like you said, there's only so many transactions, and there's a lot of agents. So a lot of agents can be like, you know what, I don't want anybody to know my secrets. Well, there really are no secrets in real estate, are there?
There are no secrets, and a lot of people are part-time agents out here. They're an agent and they're a bartender, an agent, and a Jeep tour driver, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to go all in and give your full service, you're probably going to need help. So it would be good if you're doing it part-time to pair up with like a mentor or somebody else. And I just want to give a shout out to the gals I brought in from last September till now, because I brought in 6. 4 of them made it to the top 10. And I just wanted to say I'm super proud of them. And Kylie started during the shutdown and she just hit the number 10 spot. So I just want to say, if you follow the advice, it definitely works. It definitely works.
Yeah, no doubt. It's funny because you say that. We have one of the woman that used to run the office in Palm Desert, Heather. She came, with the pandemic and so forth. So she actually decided to go into real estate, and I think since the pandemic has started, and she really she had her license, but she was running the office as the administrator there. I think she's done 7 or 8 deals since the pandemic, and I'm like, wow. Yeah, so she stayed in real estate, even though, they called her to offer her to come back, and I'm like, good for you. And now she's out there selling. So, if you're out there, like you just said, you gave me such good points there. Don't let fear hold you back. And I would say that comes with talking to people, following a schedule, like you said, if I'm driving a Jeep and selling real estate, you'll never be able to sell real estate 100%, because you got to sometimes, to go to the next level, you got to let go of where you are. That's such a great point. And be honest with yourself and your clients, not just your clients, with yourself too. I think it's such a great, and helping others, all awesome points. All right. So any final, this has been incredibly awesome, Nisreen. Thank you very much for taking 30 minutes out today. I love everything you said. Awesome stuff. I love your social media campaign. Any final thoughts you want to leave them with today?
I just want to say, if you've got into the business and you're really committed to being successful, I believe in you, and don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're struggling, reach out for help. And if you're not struggling, reach back and help others. That's my best advice to everybody, new and old.
That's such a great point. Well, Nisreen, thank you very much. You keep rocking. I really appreciate you taking out your time today, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future. All right, thanks again.
All right, I hope to see you soon.
Take
care.
We'll do this again. All right, thank you, and everybody will do this again in a week. All right, Nisreen, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, you too. Thanks. Bye-bye.